Hi folks, Happy New Year's everybody, and welcome to the members only expose where you guys bring your questions and bring your websites and we take a look at what's going on. So, it's going to be a small group I expect today, although I'm shocked at the number of people who are on already. Clearly not as many people partying last night as there could have been. I hope you guys all have had a happy holiday season, and oh my goodness, quite a few sites coming in already. I hope you guys have had a happy New Year's and a happy holiday season, and you're ready to buckle down and get into the new year and get to work, roll your sleeves up. All right, so Russ's family just got in late last night, and he's taken some time today to be with them, and so it's just you guys and me today. So it's going to be interesting trying to read the questions and maintain a bit of a pattern, but we'll see what we can do. So we had a website that came in through an email, so I might just dive in and start with that. Fascinating topic. I haven't seen this particular theme before. I've seen a wide variety of themes, but I haven't seen anything to do with private eyes. And interestingly enough, on Netflix, of course, I'm watching something about private eyes at the moment, so it's got my curiosity piqued. There's the whole silo thing that we talked about for the last couple of months, where if you've got the drop-down, you bleed your theme. I didn't take a look behind the scenes to see what the source code says, but I also found it, as I looked through the screen, there's a lot of content, which is really good for the search engines, but I don't know, I found it a little bit hard to, like, it was actually something that I was interested in, and yet I found it a little bit hard to see what the important bits were just jump out at me. So let's talk for a few minutes about color and what makes things stand out, and maybe kind of sort of some ideas about what comprises a good screen. Your call to action is good in that it's above the fold. Now I got big screens, but even on a smaller screen, that call to action would be above the fold. And my eye went to it pretty fast, but it's not a really strong, it could be a little bit more, I mean, it's good that it's for free. You've lowered the resistance. I didn't actually try clicking on it. Let's do that for a second, see what happens. See, that screen's just a whole lot better. I can tell that that's like that's fascinating. This is an affiliate product, isn't it? This screen just catches your eyes. Like, what's important is really big, and it's in hot colors, which are red or orange, and what they want you to do is really obvious. And the difference between that and this is like night and day. This is all in blues and cool colors, which is fine. But the stuff that you do have in red, like, I have to read too much. Give it to me in shorter. This is good. Secrets of the top eye, private eyes and structures. Like, that's a good phrase. This is a lot to read in a headline. If it wraps, it's a lot to read. So, and you've got some interesting images. I don't know how much they apply to your call to action. Like, I would dig for a few more images that are maybe just a little bit better. I'd put it in some kind of a border. Like, it just looks kind of flat. It, yeah, just see, like, this has got depth between the shadows and the differences in the colors, and just the way that it draws your eye from left to right, and boom, that's what you're supposed to do. Like, that's the kind of thing that you want to have happen. And I would say, even on this page, I would make what you want to have known or what you want them to do really strong. So on this page, obviously, you're trying to do a little bit of trust building before you just have them go to the sign-up page. So some of this content I'm sure is really great. And the one thing that was interesting was it wasn't until I got down here to the bottom that I saw see module details. And then I realized it was in your drop-down up here, I think. This is the same thing. Course subjects, I suspect that's the same. But having that a little bit more prominent might be, it would be more conducive to if I want to learn more, like tell me that kind of stuff like right up front. Yeah, I would spend a little bit more time with this page, and I would tweak out what you want and have it present a little bit better. It's all pretty much the same size. There's a lot of content there to go through. A video actually would probably be a really good thing if you can do something like that. To have a video there and your call to action, like that would be a whole lot stronger. So those are my initial thoughts. From a ranking perspective, let's just look at this for a second. You've got keywords here. So course subjects are what's in your menu, and it's linking to a thing called modules.html. Then you've got instructors, which lead to experts. You've got sample, which leads to sample. You've got advice from pros, which leads to questions. Like ranking those keywords are all just so broad that it's not going to be meaningful for you to rank for them. If private investigator is the term that you want to go after, private investigator, PI, investigators, you'd need to do a little bit of keyword research there to know which of those keywords are actually the best opportunity for you, depending on what you want to do. And then I would include some of that stuff, like make it private investigator instructors or PI instructors. Make it whatever the sample is. Like I can't even imagine what the sample is. Oh, it's a course sample. So private investigators or private eyes course samples. Like, don't be afraid to make your URLs a little bit longer and to make your menu options a little bit longer and get all of those important keywords in there. Because, instructors, if I'm on a site that's about private investigators, then obviously I'm going to think that instructors are about a course for private investigators. Then instructors make sense to me. But somebody coming in from a search engine, if all they saw was investigators, or if they see a video and instructors, if all they see is a video about instructors, they're going to hit that video without any clue about what it is that you're talking about. So you want to make sure that in everything that you do and in all of your, if your on-site keywords are better constructed, then as you take those elements of your page off-site, they'll have a better keyword construct to be able to attract the right market. All right. Is there anything else? Let me just take a look at his email and see if there was anything else that he was asking. He said a quick starting playing around with TLKT and Domain Web Studio. Haven't started to build in Domain Web Studio yet. Site not built. Oh, he inherited the site. Okay, from a business partner. Site was built in the 90s. That explains a lot. Doesn't follow silo structure. Plenty of organic traffic. Oh, that's interesting, based on the material and its edge. So I would want to know more about why it has organic traffic. Is it organic search traffic? I'd want to take a look at the analytics because if you've whatever pages you've got ranked and whatever terms you've got ranked for, and if you're getting conversion off that traffic, then I wouldn't want to futz with that too much. So in other words, if you're getting traffic to that instructor's page, then I would be hesitant about changing that name to Private Eye Instructors. If you do that, you're going to want to do a 301 redirect, a permanent redirect in your .ht access, so that your inbound links, the page rank juice from your inbound links forwards, and so that your traffic forwards. So I should have read that a little bit more carefully. So just like when you're taking an existing site and updating it, I'm always really careful about that I don't actually, what do I want to say, disturb a money source. The other thing that you could do is start over with a different site, like a blog would be the perfect thing to tack on to this, and build out your blog and build the traffic to the blog. You can have a blog can be both with the static pages. It can be kind of a website-esque, and then you can also have the blog roll, and the blog roll can even be on the front page so that it's a little bit more social. And then you can have the best of all possible worlds. You can maintain this site and not disturb the money that you're making off of it, but you can start to promote the siloed site on the blog and your blog stuff over there, and put your videos and all of your Web 3.0 stuff over there, so that it really starts to pick up. And probably it should surpass this if it's done right in fairly short order, like within about 6 months or so. But it all depends. I'd have to look at analytics. I'd have to see where the strengths of the site are, to see what, to really be able to give a good estimate for how fast a new site would be able to come in and take over. This is only a PageRank 2, so so the terms that it's ranking against aren't really competitive terms, but that doesn't mean that there isn't a lot of traffic associated with it. It doesn't mean that it's not a good source of income. But the PageRank 2, you should be able to recoup that, as I said, within about 6 months on a blog. So, all right. Those are my comments for that. Let me just see if you made any. Oh, webinar, you created, you comment. This is the problem with not having somebody reading along beside while I'm talking. I'm just looking back, Orlando, at the other comments that you made along the way. Not too much, okay. Okay. So he said they got Google slapped and switched over to another server. So, okay. Oh, good. And then as soon as you switched to the server, the stats started going back up. All right, excellent. Okay. All right. So unless you've got other comments or other things in particular that you want me to look at, I think I'll move over to the next site. Zero's shoes.
Hey, wait a minute. Let me give you a fantastic...
All right. Yeah, I would start a blog. I would, if you've got traffic, so his question was to just start a blog, and yeah, I would start that blog, associate it with this site. I'd probably stick a link to the blog right up here so that it starts, they start talking to each other, and just go for it. Then put all of your new time and effort. That it's a lot easier to, when you're going to do a silo structure, to start with a new site than it is to try to take an old site and restructure it. If you're just putting your old site, if you're just putting your new site up and you haven't installed a silo structure, then it's easier to reconfigure. But once you've already got it set up and you've got inbound links and you got, you kind of like attached a little bit to what it is and what it looks like, then that makes it more difficult, and it's easier to just start with a new site. So, all right, so, Stephen, Zero Shoes. I've seen this site before. Okay, so let me go back up here to the first thing Stephen said. This site's launching next week. Oh, /0/dev. Oops. 0_dev. I can't cut and paste in this, that's a pain. Alright. Okay. Nice, I like the colors. So this appeared at the top that starts to tell me immediately why these shoes are different from everything else, and I like that. It's got a great logo that yeah, that's really cute. I like it. I like the look of the sandals, the colors. They're nice and bright and open, which the shoes are open, so it speaks well from that perspective. I like this. You got trust building right up here up front, and I can use practically anything to pay, ship everywhere in the world. That's good. That's all really good stuff. So immediately it builds some trust. 5,000 miles. That's unbelievable. Wow. That's really good. And it's easy for me, like that, just, it jumps off the screen, right? Like the guarantee. And the price. So Russ is always talking about, you know, what's in it for me? Why should I believe you? How much does it cost? Excuse me. Your whole excuse me. Your whole guarantee is your whole USP is basically all spelled out here, right up at the top of the screen, and you've done a really good job of it. So I like that. And then it comes down here. This is really fun. There's a lot of pictures. There's a lot of people, a lot of faces. It's not all just feet and shoes, but you include the idea of feet and shoes. So that's great. And you've got videos too. That's awesome. It's going to be very sticky. The titles are short. They're easy to read. And it's still, you got a lot of information in here, and yet it still feels spacious. I don't feel like it's crowded. You got the testimonials running over here on the side. That's awesome. And then we've got the menus. You still got drop-down menus. Let me just take a look, because I know you've been around for a couple of these webinars. So let's just look at, whoops. Yeah, so you've got the sub-menus in there, and you've got, so you get links to your entire site. So you're going to bleed your theme, just so you know. If you can figure out a way so that, yeah, you've got two dimensionals. Dang, so you got flyouts as well as the drop-downs. So every single page is linked to every single page this way, which means what that does to your page rank is it links it. When you link everything to everything, your page rank becomes really flat. So if you would have had a page rank 4 on your home page and a page rank nothing to a page rank 1 on these pages down here, it's going to take that page rank and equally distribute it across every single page, which means probably every page will be a PR1, or maybe not quite a PR1, depending on how many pages you've got. And interestingly enough, the more pages you have, the more page rank you would have. So so that makes it really hard to rank for things like buy zeros. Now, maybe buying zeros, you know, maybe you're going to be the only website out there that's actually selling zero shoes, and so ranking for buy zeros isn't going to be a really hard thing to do. But, you know, if there's going to be competition, then you're going to want to think about how you want to structure this so that you can rank for the keywords you want to rank for. Now the other interesting thing, I don't quite have a keyword tool in my brain yet, but it's close. And barefoot info I don't think is going to be a keyword with a lot of searches on it. Doesn't mean that that's not what you want it to be there, because I can completely tell that barefoot is, or barefoot wear is your trademark. But it seems to me like somewhere there would be some keywords that you actually want to rank for. And I don't see any in any of your menus. In any of these titles, I don't see anything that's not trademark oriented. So maybe you want to tackle that in your blog. Maybe you don't want to tackle that here on your site. Maybe you want your site to be more about your trademark. I do that with ThemeZoom. ThemeZoom's got very few keywords on there. I think it's got keyword tools or something like that on there that I would never rank for anyway. Not that I couldn't, but I just don't want to spend the money to do it. And so ThemeZoom's got things like market analysis and vertical market analysis and some really strange keywords that have some searches, but it's all proprietary stuff. And so where we actually try to rank for stuff is more like in our blogs and more over on Network Empire. So I can appreciate having a corporate blog that's got trademark concepts where you're not actually trying to rank for anything other than your own stuff. Let me see what you're saying. There's an opt-in missing in the upper right. Okay. Call to action is obviously going to be replaced with a real button. Yeah, I figured it would. The plan is to have a blog with a sidebar widget with keywords based and categories and text. Okay, good. All right, cool. Then I think you're going really well here. I think it looks really good. Just curious. I guess these are the stores. All right, where you can actually walk in and try them and buy them. And then clearly you can order online. And I saw something about custom-made shoes. Cool. Very straightforward. Good. Yeah. 2 thumbs up. All right. All right. So Joel has a site, londonpestcontrollers.net. Dub. Yeah, that's good. Got your phone number, got your opt-in. Very straightforward. Unlimited visits for guaranteed removal, or it's free. That sounds just a little weird to make it. Unlimited visits for guaranteed removal, or it's free. I'd say something more like guaranteed removal or it's free, and then in fine print say unlimited visits or unlimited visits for guaranteed removal. Like, it's just kind of funky to have all 3 of those in the same sentence to me. This is where I wish Russ were on the call. He'd be able to tell you what to do with that a whole lot faster than I can. I have to think. I have to engage the other side of my brain that doesn't usually work without coffee. That's good. You've got testimonials over here. Call to action is really plain and clear. Home, about, London pest control. Age card details. Oh, good. Then you got a whole silo. All right. That's good. So, interestingly enough, fascinating. All right. Yeah. So the thing that I like about this is that all of the other links, you've got quite a few other links. I'm not real keen on the pop-up, but you've got a whole bunch of other links. I probably would not have ever hit it on normal circumstances, so don't worry about it. But, oh, and you get the mobile? Awesome. Awesome, awesome. Okay, so the links don't detract from the call to action. Like, they're there, and if I want to find out more about you, it's right there and it's obvious, but they're not so in my face. They don't contrast. They don't stick out. I'm not liable to go away from that call to action to find out more about you unless I really want to know some more. Got a video over here. That's excellent. I thought for a moment about putting the video up there, but I like this better. This is really strong and obvious what it is that you cover. Rats, mice. I'm a little dyslexic today. And I had nothing to drink last night, honest. Rats, mice, cockroaches, bed bugs, wasps, fleas. Yeah, excellent. So everything is covered right there. I can't think of anything that you'd have in the video that isn't said in a nutshell right there. Terms apply. Let me see what you're saying. I can see this rolling, but I'm not. If you want to dominate pest control North London, would it help adding some supporting articles to that category page? I might. It would kind of depend on what the page rank is for North London pest control. If you're just talking a page rank 1, then yeah, you could probably add it in here. Oh, I see what you've done. You've got, like, these are all the different burbs around London, central London, North London. So yeah, you could come down here into North London and you could add a few pages that are just here for North London. Just thinking about this for a second. Yeah, that's probably what I would do. Add some more pages under North London that they're linked to each other and then linked to North London, but they're not linked to the other burbs. So you've basically created, your category then has become its own silo with some subpages underneath it. Yeah, I think that's good. And I would say that with everything. If you're having problems ranking with Islington with just one page, then I would say add some more pages underneath that. I take it you're going to have a blog or something like that associated with it that's going to provide inbound links? Postcode pages, yes. So here under North London, you could do 2 or 3 things. You could add particular post code pages. You could just add some other things about North London. So this is where if you had Pest Control North London in a blog, then you could be blogging about the newsy type things that are going on with, particularly within North London, where that might be, you know, their infestations might be different from the rest of London. I'm just running that through my 3% to see if that makes any sense. I mean, I suppose to some extent there are some of those things that might be issues in just certain verbs and not in others. Okay. But your blog's not linked. You have a blog, but it's not linked to here? Why this site instead of... So Kevin's saying, why the site instead of council in NW1, the council pest control? And then Joel came back and said he had put this in the nav. Call private instead of council. Council. I'm not seeing where it says council. Oh, as additional page content. Oh, I see what you're saying. The link to the blog in the nav bar. Possibly. It's not so important. One of the reasons that I said for this site to put the link to the blog in the nav bar is because I wanted to pass some of that page rank 2 over to the new blog that he'd be building. This one, yeah, you could put the link to the blog, but you don't have to. The blog could just link back to you. Give me the link to your blog. Let me take a look at it. Oh, it's just /blog. Okay. .net, yeah, /blog. Yeah, no page rank on the blog. Wow. Do you write these blog posts or do you have them written? And I would at least put an image. This is sad. Alright, so blog posts, the whole idea of a blog is that it's social, right? I take a blog post and I disseminate it out to the world. I'm going to take a blog like pests in need of controlling in London. That's a great idea. You could phrase it just a little bit better, although this is British and I know the Brits speak about certain topics quite a bit differently than they do in America, but in America I would say something like pests in need of controlling in London. Like that's just a little too passive for me. I would want something that just really sticks out there, like out of control pests in London. Something like that just kind of grabs you emotionally and you go, oh, oops, what the heck. And then you want to take that concept and you want to stick it everywhere, right? You want to put it in forums, you want to repost it on Posterous and scoop it, and if you have images, and then you can, or videos, then you can take those and post those in Pinterest. Now, can you imagine the really wonderful, gruesome images that you can have about pests that need to be controlled? Out-of-control pests, like the images that come to my mind are just crazy, and they would go completely viral on Pinterest. And so you could take several of those images and make a video out of it and stick it up on YouTube, and you could have droves of people coming to find out about the uncontrolled, the out-of-control pests that are in London and what the heck they can do about it. I mean, if you have like some horrendous pictures of cockroaches, mice, rats, termites, all that kind of good, it's just, yeah. All right, so you have them written. All right, cool. So the people who write them for you, can they find you pictures too, images that are don't have copyright on them? Because if you're like trying to do something that's completely hands-off, then you want your outsourcers to be able to do everything. And if not, maybe find, I know that there's, I've got links to a couple of places that I haven't actually tried yet that'll make videos out of your images with either a voiceover or a music over. And do it fairly inexpensively. Like, you know, I'm looking at like 20 bucks or less, 30 bucks or less, depending on the quality. I had a guy who did it at Fiverr, and it was fine for $5, but it really just didn't drive a lot of traffic. So, so I was looking for the next step up, and I haven't, as I said, I've got 2 or 3 people that I want to try, but I haven't got anything down yet. Pictures are not a problem. All right, good. Then you want pictures. At the very least, you want pictures and to have pictures in here. And I would play around with having some vids made out of those pictures and make sure all of that stuff gets posted to Pinterest. There's I know Russ is playing around with some plugins that do auto posting to Pinterest, and I don't think he's happy with anything that he's found yet. There might be one. But if you're having somebody post these to the blog, you can have them also hit the pin button to Pinterest too and get that rocking. And that's what I do at the moment. I have my outsourcer who's processing my blog. He doesn't actually, because of the nature of the stuff that we do with ThemeZoom, he's not actually posting the original blog posts. And for most of my clients, I make them post their original blog posts too, so that they're all the way that they like them. On the WR1 sites. WR2 sites is a different story. But the WR1 sites, because it represents the brand, I'm a little bit pickier. So I want the actual company to do the original blog post, but then we outsource everything else in terms of picking up that content and redistributing it. And that includes doing the pinning and some liking and all of that stuff to the original blog post. And I'm going to be playing around with offering that as DFY services for our members here, probably starting toward the end of January. But more information on that as it progresses. But that would be the biggest thing. Like this blog, it's not as sticky. Like that's just wonderfully sticky. And wasn't it? No, it was the last site. It was this site where you've got on the home page, like when you look down here, you look at something like that. Like that's more what you want to have your blog look like. Lots of pictures, lots of topics, and stuff that engages. And I'm not sure that I would want to take somebody from this page to the blog, but I definitely would drive the blog traffic to here. Okay. Oh. One more thing. Let's look at your... Do you have any calls to action in your blog? Are you driving them anywhere? Are you linking? You do link. All right, that's good. I might consider over here on the sidebar just having a, this is an opt-in, right? Yeah, just have your opt-in right there on the sidebar so they don't have to come to your site. In case all they ever do is hit your blog, you can grab them right there. Yep. And once you get your blog a little bit more, I have a strong suspicion you're not doing anything with your blog post, right? You're not promoting it off-site or anything, because I don't see any. This is a new site, though, right? Asked too many questions in too short a period of time. New site. All right, so that's why it doesn't have any page rank. Okay, not bad. I like the site. The blog needs some work, and then you need to take those blog posts and start promoting them. Cool. All right, so who's next? That was Joel. That was Joel. That's Orlando. Steven with 0 shoes. Kevin. Now, Kevin made an interesting point. He says that the flashing telephone number, people can relate to that as a spam site and quickly click away. It doesn't need to flash to stand out if that were solid. I'd still see it. In fact, I'd be able to dial it easier if it were solid. So just a thought. One of my clients had Tim Ash do their site, do the whole look and feel and positioning of all of the elements on their site. And he was giving me the quick and dirty of what Tim had said. And that one of the things that he commented on was you want to make sure that people have the opportunity to find your trust-building stuff before they find your call to action. And by having this flash, the first place your eyes are going to go is here. I might even consider putting some kind of, you've got this 100% money-back guarantee, which is your trust builder. I might even consider a smaller version of that, like right up here, just so that it's right there by your call to action. Although this is a pretty small page. I mean, I think people are going to see it no matter where they go because there's just 3 or 4 things. But it was interesting that Tim had said have that trust builder concept found before the call to action is found. So just something to keep in mind. I haven't played with it too much. That's pretty much new information in my 3%. So I haven't really integrated it into my how do you make that work in a squeeze page like this. But it was a fascinating piece of information I thought I should pass on. All right. Anybody else? Any other questions? Should the form have an email? This is Kevin's question. Should the form have an email? As in a field, as in this is, that depends entirely on how you're set up to deal with your leads. It looks very much like this is a call center, and so you either call in or they call you back. The couple of sites that I've been working with that are predominantly call centers said that they get a lot of people who opt in to their email forms, but they don't get a really high conversion off of it. They would rather get people on the phone because their phone people can close them. So if your call center is set up to do that, I would do that. If you're not set up with a call center, then clearly you have to have an email. But I wouldn't say that when you're dealing with a call center you have to have an email on your form. What about social media icons? Should we have them on every single page for better rankings? Social media icons aren't going to increase your rankings. They're not really going to have too much to do with that at all. In fact, if anything, well, I see what you're saying. You're saying that if people link to you, then it's going to increase your inbound links. I wouldn't have it on your page so much with the idea that it's going to help your rankings. I would have it on your page just with the idea that it's going to help your viral traffic. Like, that's really what you're trying to do with social media. And the ranking benefit that you get is an aside more than a destination. And, I mean, interestingly enough, I've found that if you invite people to tell their friends about something, they're going to respond with it a whole lot more than, if you just expect them to think about inviting their friends. So the idea of having social icons there is a gentle reminder that they might want to actually share that information. And I think that kind of depends. Let me just think about this for a second. Different markets respond to that in different ways. So like this, I can totally see being fairly viral. And I like the way that that's done because pretty much everything is covered and it's pretty small and out of the way. There's some people who have some pretty large icons, and I think on your money site that's actually a detriment. On your blog it's not so bad because blogs are more social. For instance, if we looked at this, if we went back to the infestations that are happening all over London and these out-of-control pests, like if this had social media interaction on it and some really horrific pictures, I could just see that type of thing going really viral. So definitely. Here where you actually have the, on your money site where you've actually got that call to action, I would keep it really subtle, really, really subtle. Because it's not that I don't want to invite them, if like, oh my goodness, I know my friends, they have bed bugs in London and this could really help them out. Then yeah, I would click on see, like, I would probably share it with somebody that I know who has an issue rather than just sharing it with all my friends on Facebook. I don't know that I would share the fact that I'm interested in pests and pest control with all my friends on Facebook. So you just kind of got to think about that for a second. On the other hand, sharing this idea of an article where there are pests out of control in London, I would share all that with my friends on Facebook. Does that make sense? Interesting. So Kevin just pinged me a bit out of the source code. Was that on the site, Kev? Main page. All right. And -US. If you want this to really rank in Great Britain, this should be EN-GB. Well, that's interesting. I have to say I've never paid any attention to that before. That Joel asked what that is. That's the language. Let me just look at that again. Here, this is HTML is specifying what the language is, and this is saying that the language is US English, which sets up how all the spelling is going to be, and that's one thing that Matt and I are always fighting about. P-Raleigh and header.php. Is that something else, or is that the same thing, Kev? That's in the header.php, obviously. Okay. So anyway, it's mostly an I that you dot and a T that you cross. How do you change it? Is this... It's going to be in your style sheet. Oh, that's why you were talking about header.php. Wow. This has got all your style sheet information in it. That's not terribly efficient. It's not a lot of it, but it's not terribly efficient. All right, so this is WordPress. So yeah, you alter it using the functions in the blog. I haven't ever done it, but I can figure out how to do it and stick up a blog post about it. Or you can probably see Kevin's blog. He's probably got a blog post about it, right? He says sadly no. All right, we'll get it figured out. Stick a blog post up about it. Okay. So we're just about at an hour. Does anybody have any questions? I don't know that we've really got time to take on another site, but there's been all kinds of end-of-year summaries and all kinds of people talking about what's going to happen next year. Does anybody have a favorite or something that they want to talk about that they've seen in the media so far? Google will give up. I was going to broach on the subject of Google if nobody had anything else. The thing that I've seen in the last 6 months is an amazing turn in terms of being able to automate content, like automate really quality content, or at least content that's of a quality where Google's not going to be able to tell that it's spam nearly so easily. And looking at it from the perspective of Google and how what I would do if I were in their shoes is be seriously looking at not being such an open search engine anymore. I just don't see how they can keep doing what it is that they've been doing and be able to have good results. And of course, as soon as they can't have good results, then they'll lose their clients. They'll lose the people who are selling ads on their search engine, and everything will just be completely downhill. So I would say that things have got to go. And there's two possible roads that sit in front of Google that are really obvious. One is to become a paid directory or some kind of a directory. And then the other one is to remove results as we have known them and go more and more toward logged in personalized results and social media results. In other words, I'm sorry, not social media results, local results, which you've seen more and more anyway. I mean, they've been playing around for the last couple of years with mashups on the front page, and they've taken their RSS feed, their shopping network, and made it entirely a paid service. So that which was free 9 months ago is no longer free. They did that the last quarter of this year. And that's had some significant results on some of the small businesses that were around here that had their feeds piped through Google but can't afford to pay for their feeds to be piped through Google. And I just see, I mean, if I were in their shoes, it's a horrendous effort that they've been putting forward to try and maintain some degree of reasonable results, and I just see that that's a losing battle. So the thing that I would say to everybody in 2013 is to diversify. Do not rely on Google as a sole source of traffic. It's one of the reasons why we created the promotion and syndication module the way we did, and we just upgraded it. We pushed out a release yesterday, but it's got some issues, so don't tell me about the issues for another couple days, and then if the issues are still there, you can tell me about them. But one of the things in that release was a hugely expanded list of third-party platforms that we've verified to use for your promotion and syndications. And so what I was just talking about a second ago, where you take your blog and you disseminate that information everywhere, and you grab that traffic and you bring it back, you want to focus on that more and more, and find alternative ways. I mean, it will also help you get ranked in Google, but don't just put all your money in the ranking basket. Stephen asks, have I heard good things about Thesis 2.0 rewritten in PHP so a website developer can concentrate on HTML versus previous versions written in HTML where you need to know PHP? I have heard good things about Thesis. I like Thesis. I haven't played with 2.0 yet. Some of my developer friends have, and they really like it. And the marketing material that they had on it looked really, really good. And I'm hoping that within the next, 30, 45 days, I'll have a chance to put a blog up with it. But, yeah. My thoughts on page lines. Page lines I have a love-hate relationship with. I absolutely love them. It's not for the meek. It requires a bit of programmatic know-how and to tweak it out, but it can be an absolutely beautiful theme. I spent a lot of time tweaking my personal blog out with it, and then there was an update. So I updated to the latest version of WordPress, and I updated to the latest version of PageLines, and it completely went belly up on me. Well, being a programmer, I dug into the logs, and I dug into the errors, and I put everything together, and I sent it off to their help desk. And their reply to me was a canned, reinstall your blog. And that so perturbed me that I won't recommend them anymore. But it is a beautiful platform. All right, well, we're at the top of the hour. No more questions are coming in. Those are my thoughts for 2013. I wish all of you a most joyous and prosperous New Year, and we will see you guys on the first Tuesday of February. Thanks so much, folks. Have a good one. Ciao.